Calculator.
Mr. 411, greetings and salutations. It is fantasy playoff times for 95% of leagues out there. So this is where it's the rubber meets the road, so to speak, So, you gotta, if you want to make good decisions, now's the time to make them, and we got some guys that you might have been holding on to them all year. And if, you might just have to sit them, and I'll mention one, as we go along, that you might just, don't take the chance with them, and I'll tell you why,
Okay.
when we're in the show.
Man, absolutely. That's a great way to, leave that cliffhanger out there for the audience. This is definitely the late night edition, the coffee and slipper edition.
That's
But
right.
we found a way, man. We found a way to get this stuff in, like CTL, crossing the lines. And
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna do the same thing with the fantasy football, ladies and gentlemen. And I know tomorrow, well, in a couple hours it'll be tomorrow, and that's Wednesday. And I think that's in at the time where everybody need to open up their Christmas gifts, meaning they get to see what players are going to be on their team for the
That's
playoffs.
right. The waiver wire, they, see if, depending on what league you're in, if you have to, make a bid, or if you've been saving that number one waiver priority just for this reason, we'll tell you if it's a good time to use it. Because you don't
That's
want, put it
right.
this way, you don't want to go out in the playoffs with the number one waiver priority on your in the bag, so to speak.
Absolutely. Yep. That's it. That's it.
To take a thing for the World Cup fans out there, Brazil going out and not using Neymar for his penalty kicks in PKs and going out in the World Cup. You never want to be that person.
Absolutely. Don't pull a name off, but
Don't.
or a
Yeah,
Brazil name off.
yeah,
Yeah, and I can't wait to cross the line so we can get into that too on Thursday.
absolutely.
But for now, it's the fantasy football show, and nice shirt there, by the way, calculator.
Hey, thank you. Hey, company man, you know how it is.
Hey man, yeah man, much appreciated. The
Absolutely.
higher ups in the 401 Sports World are definitely smiling right now in
Oh
the
yeah.
room. Yeah.
Hey.
All right, well, let's get to it. The 401 Sports World Fantasy Football Show is coming right at you.
And we're back.
Man, we are back, calculator. And before we do that, before we go any further, I'll definitely thank everybody who's tuning in, everyone who has tuned in, everyone who has hit the like button, everyone who's hit the notification bell, everyone who has shared. And we thank those that will be doing the same.
Mhm.
And as a friendly reminder, please, please, please do the follow and help us out.
Subscribe, like, notify. 3 easy rules. Hey, it helps us out, and we'd like to help you out. So we just, what do they call that? Quick Crow Pro or what's that time? So
Sounds good, calculator.
yeah, there you go.
Do that. You
Yeah,
know what
do
I
they?
mean? Please hit the like button, subscribe, notification bell,
And
share.
yeah, and we really like it when you put comments out there. We love comments because anytime you have a
Yes,
question, if you're unable to get on, when sometimes you're unable to get on. We know people we have a crew that works the midnight shift at Coles.
yes,
That if they can't get good reception out there, they have to come in at a later time. So if that's thing, if you have a question, put a comment. We do look at it all the time.
yes, we do indeed. We have people working the midnight oil as well. So
Mm-hmm.
yes, we're out here. We definitely appreciate it. All right, so we're gonna get into the fantasy world. Oh man, what a weekend of fantasy football that just passed, and also the playoffs are upon us, and so we're gonna help you with the secret sauce, the keys, and everything. So just sit back, relax, enjoy the show. So, calculate. We're gonna start off with a couple things, as some news and notes in the
Yep.
fantasy world, and then we'll branch off from there.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah, our news and notes, as people know, with injuries. Those are the biggest things out there. So what we do, we talk about injuries because people need to plan coming up, and Lamar Jackson did not play. However, we always said he might not play as long as Huntley was out there. Well, guess what? Huntley got hurt, of
Right.
course, exited the game. So now Lamar Jackson is going through the reps, so to speak. He was a limited participant coming out, so that he could actually play. However, if we will go over on the waiver wires different quarterbacks you can pick up that I would prefer a more safe option than Lamar Jackson. And again, we'll get that later on. Russell Wilson, concussion protocol, exited the game. We don't know if Russ is going to cook. However, I feel bad if you were replying or relying on Russell Wilson. If you're relying on Russell Wilson, unfortunately, you're probably not watching our playoff edition of this episode. Kenny Pickett, concussion again. This is his second one, folks, and usually a second one means longer. Season's pretty much over with. Pickett's got his reps in. They could just go back to the guy that who started the season. He escapes me because the guy that was a high draft pick came over and
Yeah. You used to play for Carolina.
Carolina, yeah. See, so, but yeah, not very, like I said, not very overwhelming in what he did. But hey, he's healthy, so he could take over for the rest of the year. Mike White taken to the hospital, which kind of thing. This is that sticky rib cartilage issue. From what I've seen, I don't see any big difference from a White to a Zach Wilson in what I have been seeing out there. Yes, Mike White had one good game, and guess what, folks? It was against the Chicago Bears, and I guarantee you Zach Wilson could have done the same thing to the Chicago Bears. Hey, when we go to the running backs, Damian Harris, I think they're going to try and rush him back because, and we'll talk about it when we get to it. But when you look at the New England Patriots Monday night, Jacoby Myers was out. Oh, yes, running backs. Let's start with the running back. Damian Harris. This was a little early. This was in our production meeting when we were talking about this yesterday, was likely going to be out. I actually, if you go to our very first episode last Tuesday, I did say Damian Harris was going to be out, and he was because Ramondre Stevenson was healthy at that time, and they didn't need to play him. More on that. Kenneth Walker III did not play. DJ Dallas did not play. Well, guess what? Kenneth Walker, he's actually healthy. They took the questionable tag off of him. Kenneth Walker III will play on Sunday night. However, it is against the 49ers. Dameon Pierce, they said high ankle sprain, minimum 1 to 2 weeks. Personally, I think if you have Dameon Pierce, the Houston season, pretty much with the way they said they play to win, play not to lose. I'm sorry, those jokers, when they were on the goal line, could have went up by 6 points against the Dallas Cowboys and decided to go for it to try it. And they say to seal the game. What they did is they gave the Dallas Cowboys win because I seriously think the Houston Texans wanted to make sure they have that number 1 pick for next year, and they pretty much solidified that after their loss to Dallas. Mike Boone, hey, he was back. First he's on the injured reserve, then he came back and he's out. No word on when he's going to get back. Denver is a dumpster fire. Jeff Wilson, a hip. We're looking at multiple games. He did not even go on the practice. He did not practice today at all, not even a limited session. So all you must start owners, hey, could be time to fight. If you've been saving them for the playoffs, this is the time to get. Although, beware, it is a quick turnaround. It's Thursday night, which that's one reason I'm pretty sure Jeff Wilson won't play is because of the quick turnaround. But it is the Buffalo defense and it's going to be outside. It's going to be cold. And, Buffalo's defense is pretty good last time I checked. Dontrell Hilliard exited the game for Tennessee. That just means King Henry might get even more run, right? Wide receivers, Jacoby Myers out with a concussion. He didn't even take the field. He could not pass concussion protocol. Rondale Moore groin injury, still not able to play. Debo Samuel says likely out. It has been confirmed out. He will be out for the rest of the regular season, but he will return in time for the playoffs. But for our purposes, fantasy playoffs, do not count on it. T. Higgins was an odd one. It says exited game, but I did he even make it out of warmups? It was one of those things that he should have at least had a questionable by his name, but he didn't have that designation the whole time, and I'm blaming. I'm starting to be a little worried about that Cincinnati coaching staff of messing with our feelings. But Tyler Boyd, another Bengal receiver. He was playing, but he exited the game before he could get his first points. Two receivers, goose eggs. And that hurt a lot of people, I'm sure, if they were trying to get into the playoffs. Corey Davis, concussion. That just means Elijah Moore, fire him up if you need him, because he'll get more looks as long as Corey Davis is out. Kendall Hinton, another Denver Bronco, another exit. They're falling like flies. Courtland Sutton did not play. He won't be there. But hey, Jerry Judy owners are not upset about that. Brandon Cooks, Nico Collins, both did not play. Both are unsure if they're going to return for next week. Keep an eye on those practice reports, folks. Traylon Burks still has not exited concussion protocol. I don't see him coming back anytime soon either. But hey, Tennessee's a running team, and we know it. Kadarius Toney still did not play. Probably will not be. McCole Hardman is probably going to come back, and I think the Chiefs will be fine with that. Hayden Hurst did not play, a calf injury. Word is though he should be back. But that's it for I do want to talk about the Monday night injuries because this newsletter came out before the Monday night injuries. Kyler Murray has been confirmed MCL ACL tear, so he is out for the year. Hopefully he can be back before next year. Colt McCoy is the guy on out from here on out, and it didn't show last game, but Colt McCoy is one of the better backups out there. Plenty of experience, dynamic receivers, quick-paced offense. Yes, they ran. And I watched that game last night, and New England didn't scare me. New England kind of just wore down the offensive line for Cardinals. Cardinals was actually in control for the whole first half. What turned the game around, Mr. 411, was them going for it on fourth down. They could kick the long field goal. They went for it on fourth down, didn't get it. 30 seconds left. New England does what they do. 3 passes. They kicked the long field goal, kind of gave them more momentum going into overtime. Then they put in these rookie running backs in there because, as we saw, Ramondre Stevenson got hurt in the first few minutes of the game. So they had another Harris out there, a guy out of South Carolina, very good pedigree coming out of the SEC, a very good running back, and Pierre Strong Jr., the fast. They have a little, they call the thunder and lightning thing. That's what it looks like New England might go from here on out, kind of like, pound people with the big hammer of Harris, loosen them up, and then hit them with the quick strike of Pierre Strong. So, but looks like Ramondre Stevenson, although they're trying to get Damian Harris back. One of the reasons they didn't get him, again, they didn't hurry him up because of Ramondre Stevenson. I think this Ramondre Stevenson, it was an ankle. I think that might kind of get Harris back. Regardless, I still like Pierre Strong Jr. out of the whole group if Ramondre Stevenson misses time, just because I like a guy coming in when a team is wore out, because that's when the big plays happen. That's pretty much it. And I also want to talk to the DeAndre Hopkins owners, the Marquise Brown owners. I wouldn't worry too much because they're not. He can't throw deep like Kyler Murray, but Hopkins is more of a intermediate route type of guy anyways, and he's great on 50-50 balls. And what we've seen McCoy do is he don't mind throwing 50-50 balls. So I wouldn't worry. I'm firing up Hopkins. He's an automatic start at all times. Marquise Brown is a start if you don't have other options available. Kyler Murray, he's an automatic start. Without him, because Marquise Brown, Hollywood is the deep threat. But again, don't worry too much. Hopkins start. Oh, and James Conner. And if we all saw James Conner. He's catching the ball. He's running the ball. He pretty much did anything he wanted against the Patriots. As far as granted and that's the good thing about James Conner. He's not game script dependent. He was getting a lot of the early running downs, and then when they fell behind, well, guess what? He was catching screen passes. He gets all the snaps. He gets all the shares, and so don't worry, Cardinal owners. They'll be fine with McCoy at quarterback.
All right. Okay, well, that's enough of the news and notes there. So injuries are definitely piling up. It is football, so it's happening, and it's about attrition. And what do you do? What kind of moves you make? And so we're right heading up to the waiver wire period. But before we determine and give you some information on who, and you say who, on who we may mention for you to pick up. Let's talk about some of the performances. So we'll talk about some studs and duds.
Oh, I love studs and duds, Mister 411. Yes,
Yeah, well, let's
sir.
start with Thursday.
Thursday night, hey, if you had a field goal kicker, Daniel Carlson, congratulations. Josh Jacobs, Josh Jacobs, okay. A name you don't see up there that should have been up there, and I'm going to blame Josh McDaniel. Yes, sometimes I get on my soapbox, but that's because when I see coaching malpractice out there. You have Devontae Adams. We came on here on Crossing the Lines, and I even told the coaching staff what Devontae Adams does against zone coverage. Well, yeah,
Right.
and they didn't throw the ball. All they did was run with Josh Jacobs. Well, you see those 99 carries? He had like 30 carries for 99 yards, and that's all they did. Well, you know what? Yes, they were missing Aaron Donald. Well, you know what, Aaron Donald? What the Rams can still do without Aaron Donald, they can still stop the run, and that's why they left themselves open for a guy that came in on Tuesday in Baker Mayfield with a little wristband that he got, the same wristband you see on flag football kids for 11, 12 years old, right? And he was still able to get down and get a touchdown to win that game. But hey, I'm going to give Baker Mayfield credit. I'm going to give Skoranek credit. I'm going to give Van Jefferson credit. They did it against and the Raiders have nobody to blame but themselves, because even when they were rushing, even when it was back pass, was it 98 yards on that last drive, Mr. 411? I know the
Yes, it
bartender
was.
that was looking for the game on Thursday night couldn't see it, but I was watching it. And it's like, man, dude, we got it. He just went down there. We got there on Tuesday. The Raiders deserve to lose the game because they didn't. They could have put away the Rams early in the game, but they ran the clock. You don't run the clock and shorten the game against a team that you're superior in every position. That's what the other team was trying to do. They were running it into. They were doing what the Raiders the Raiders were doing what the Rams wanted them to do: shorten the game and then leave an opening. And then guess what? You lost the game. So, but yeah, those are your studs from Thursday night. It's just a shame we don't see Devontae Adams up there. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Oh my God! Yeah, I had a text from a good show from a good friend of the show, Dr. Sachs. He said, "What in the Evan Ingram is going on here?"
Yeah.
and as we can see, Trevor, and this is a sense of know who you're playing. Jacksonville, and this is where you have good coaching. Doug Peterson knows what he's doing. He's won a Super Bowl with Philadelphia, for crying out loud. But yeah, he knew he was going against a team that could stop the run. So what did he do? He passed the ball. And I know I make fun of Trevor Lawrence looking like Steffi Graf, but he did. I mean, that those are monster numbers, right? Those are Jalen Hurts type numbers. And I know a lot of people weren't starting them out there. So it might. Hey, with all the other quarterbacks out there that we can talk about, Trevor Lawrence is not a bad one. Jerry Jeudy, 3 touchdowns, folks. That's what he did. He probably thought he was back in Alabama doing those numbers, Mr. 411.
Oh yeah,
8
having
receptions.
flashbacks.
Yeah, I was like, wow. He was getting open, and he's going to be a target monster again because another wide receiver and Hinton's out, so it's just pretty much Jerry Jeudy from here on out. Him and that rookie tight end Justin Jefferson. Oh my gosh, was that you got to love indoor games, shootouts. Kirk Cousins on non-primetime games, and he was slinging the rock, folks, and all those Justin Jefferson overs. Congratulations. And Jerick McKinnon, oh my, yeah. All I can say is, oh my, 7 reception, 2 touchdowns. And yes, folks, yours truly, if you play in enough leagues, and there was a bipocalypse this week, you might have went up against Jerick McKinnon. I did. Luckily, thank goodness, I had Justin Herbert and I had the New England defense, so I survived. But mercy, Jerick McKinnon, what a day. Oh, and hey, if you have an Eagle on your roster, congratulations, because Jalen Hurts was scoring left and right, and he was spreading the wealth. He gave it to Devontae Smith. He gave it to AJ Brown, and goodness gracious, he just handed off to Miles Sanders, and Miles Sanders did his thing as well. So yes, the Eagles. Oh, thank you, Mr. Senior, giving me the thumbs up, because if you were an Eagles owner, that's what you were doing all day at the TV, folks, because it was early, plentiful. And guess what, Mr. 411? Playoff time. Next up for the Eagles, the Chicago Bears, folks.
Oh, wow. Merry Christmas.
If you got an Eagle, fire them up, folks. It is going to be glorious.
Wow, what a schedule to have.
Yeah.
The way that panned out.
I
All right,
mean,
well, calculator. When we talk, we brought up the studs, but anybody that disappointed this week?
oh, yeah. Yeah. A guy by the name of DJ Moore. And I'm gonna take the
Ooh.
L on this one, Mr. 411. I'm gonna take the L, because let me tell you, I was on here and I was high on DJ Moore and I was high on Baker Mayfield. And I'm thinking, goodness gracious, what happened to DJ Moore? He came in, they gave him like his first. I mean, he'll get 100 yards and a touchdown one game, and then he'll get like I think 1.2 points this game. Yes, he did leave the game. So, me and Mr. 401, we like to talk poker, hold him and fold him and everything. Folks, I've been telling you to hold on to DJ Moore. Now the calc is saying fold DJ Moore. Do not give him a roster spot. Do not trust him, because as soon as you need him. Hey, but I'll say this. If you've had DJ Moore and you've started him, again, like I was talking about Russell Wilson, a quarterback, you probably aren't listening to playoff podcasts for fantasy football because you didn't make the playoffs, and hey, I will show you my roster when we go with the Listen League. I'm a DJ Moore owner. I've stuck to my guns. I drafted him, and guess what? I've held him on to this long. And it comes to waiver wires, and DJ Moore, I will do a drop ad on air for people to let them know I practice what I preach. Time to hit the road, DJ Moore.
All right. They got a song called Hit the Road Jack.
And don't you come back.
That's it. Exactly, calculator. There's some other names on there too, man. What about Diggs, man? That was a name that was disappointing.
Yeah. Well, that was this. This is. I will give you the game plan for what the Buffalo Bills did in their game with the Jets. They said, okay, we got a Thursday night game against a team that actually can beat us for the division. We'll get this early lead, and you just play defense. They weren't taking any chances downfield. They were, and that's going to affect Diggs. Now, I think, even though it's going to be cold, we got to check the wind reports, because there's been lots of research. Wind and rain even does not affect your passing game as much as wind. So even though it's going to be 22, 25 degrees out there, if there's not a lot of wind, although it is Buffalo, Upper New York, we know from our regular contributor, Lacey, it does get windy in Upper New York. So we got to keep an eye on that, because it will be cold. But yeah, that was a letdown for Stephon Diggs. Mark Andrews, this was more of a quarterback situation, and when their second string goes down, not much to say about that. Again, that's and hey, we said it on Crossing Lines, did we not, Mr. 401? We said it was going to be a defensive slugfest, and that's just what it was. Saquon Barkley, we always talk about game script, but it was odd. They're down 14-0 by the time you get done with appetizers when you sit down to eat, right? But then all of a sudden, they put I don't they put these two guys Matt Breida's carrying the ball. They got this one guy with long hair. I don't even know his name. I didn't even get the name on his jersey because I had to have the volume down because I had company over, and we were talking and I had this stuff in the background. And I was like, oh my God, who's that guy with long hair? But it wasn't Saquon Barkley. But yeah, he just didn't get volume and they couldn't convert third downs. It was just an ugly game for the Giants. George Kittle, this is again a more of a Brock Purdy type conservative. Just they were playing Tampa Bay. They wanted to do kind of like safe plays. And you say, what's more safe than George Kittle over the middle? McCaffrey on swing passes, and that's what that looked like throughout there. And DeAndre Swift, again, this was a thing where the Minnesota Vikings says, "You're Jared Goff. You're going to have to beat us." And guess what? Jared Goff beat him because they decided, hey, Jamal Williams didn't have a good game. DeAndre Swift didn't have a good game. No rushing touchdowns, but man, Jared Goff was chucking that ball through the air and gashing them. And hey, if they're going to keep giving you like that, and again, I'm going to pump the CTL show here. We told you here. The Detroit Lions, they're a team nobody wants to play right now because they're playing and they're hot right now.
Absolutely. Man, calculator, we're rolling tonight, so we're going to keep going. And now we're going to jump into the waiver wire. And
Yes.
the graphics coming up real soon here, but we need to talk about players that fantasy owners need to look into picking up, man, as we all try to survive in the playoff race. And I'll throw one out, and I'll make it personal. I have Lamar Jackson, so I have the Lamar Jackson dilemma coming up. I mean, if he plays, I feel like I have to play him, but what type of moves need to be made on that end as well?
Okay. And again, I like these waiver wires there, but I, you know, that quarterback that made that list is Brock Purdy. The reason I like Brock Purdy is, first of all, Mike Shanahan's his quarterback or, his coach. All right. He looked great against Tampa Bay for those people that look at it. He's got
No
weapons.
calculator. He looked
What's that?
purdy.
There you go. Thank you, Mr. 41. He looked his that pass to Christian McCaffrey for the touchdown was definitely very Purdy. But yeah, it was he throws with authority. He has his offensive line's fairly healthy compared, to a lot of other teams in this league. But I like Purdy. But another one that you might want to look at is old Taylor Heineke. Mr. 411, he's a one of those gunslingers. This is a game where are you favored to win or are you a long shot? If you're a long shot, you might have to hope Lamar Jackson comes back, right? But if you need that floor, Heineke's the floor. He's at home. He's against the Giants. We just saw what Jalen Hurts a competent quarterback can do to the Giants. I like Heineke as or Purdy as a stand-in for Lamar Jackson, because again, we don't know if Lamar Jackson's gonna come back, right? And again, Colt McCoy, Denver, yes. People talk about that Denver matchup, but they can be had for against good playmakers. Colt McCoy has the weapons at his disposal, and he's available. It'll be in the upper air. But it is Mahomes. But hey, every now and then they could put it this way: if you give me Lamar Jackson, I'm starting Purdy over Lamar Jackson. I'm starting Taylor Heineke over Lamar Jackson, and I'm starting Colt McCoy over Lamar Jackson, folks. I mean, that you really it's playoff time. You can't take chances, and those are the three in that order. I go Purdy 1, I go Taylor Heineke 2, and then I go Colt McCoy. Like I said, Colt McCoy, you're going to get him. But the good thing about the waiver wire, folks, you have more chances. You have good chances to get guys because a lot of times you're only competing against 5 other people if it's playoff time. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it's good chances. But I like Taylor Heineke. I mean, Taylor Heineke is one of those floor plays. Purdy's a floor play. Even though he's losing Deebo Samuel, he still has IU. He still has Kittle. He still has McCaffrey. He still has Kyle Shanahan. So Purdy, yeah, don't make it easy on him. And he showed, hey, he can eat up the Tampa Bay defense. He can, and Tampa Bay, pretty decent defense from what I've seen.
Yeah. Okay. Any other names on here that stick out?
But yeah, Jerick McKinnon. If he's available, get him up, because if you can get a part of that Kansas City passing, I say passing game because they use him as a receiver. But guess what, folks? They're going against the 32nd ranked run defense that could spell trouble for McKinnon, because they just might run Pacheco all day long. So but hey, if you can get McKinnon on there, great. Chuba Hubbard, it's one of those things where the Panthers are playing better. And if they're in positive game script, guess what? Now that Chuba, a lot of people say, well, Foreman usually gets all the ball. Well, Chuba Hubbard was getting a lot of that ball in that game against Seattle. So that's something to keep an eye on. DJ Chark, he's actually the guy I will be making a claim on in our draft, in our fantasy draft on the live show. I'm going to put in for DJ Chark because I want a receiver, and I'm going to drop DJ Moore because I want some of that Lions. But folks, I'm not getting DJ Chark for this week. DJ Chark is not a guy you want to start every week, because you're going to have to look at matchups that favor Jared Goff, folks. And I'm going to go back to quarterbacks. I'm starting Taylor Heineke over Jared Goff. And you say, Cackler, you just see what Jared Goff did against Minnesota, a 10-2 teams? And I said, yeah, I saw exactly what he did. But guess where Detroit's playing? They're playing at Carolina. Okay, you can say, well, Carolina. Jared Goff out. I'm sorry. They played the Jets this week. I was off. But okay, they played the Jets and then they played Carolina. Okay, what did those two teams have in common? They both have solid front sevens. What's the second thing they have in common? They are outdoor stadiums. Guess what Jared Goff has? Jared Goff has one passing touchdowns on the road in outdoor stadiums. There you go, folks. You can talk about sample size or all you want. The man, Jared Goff, does not like to play outside, and he doesn't like to play on the road outside. You can say he was on the road in Minnesota. Well, guess what? Minnesota's inside. I'm not taking a chance. Playoff times, you got to get those floor guys to help out your high ceiling guys. So, hey, mark it on CTL. Calculators calling it. Taylor Heineke will outscore Jared Goff this weekend.
Wow. All right. I might even drink a Heineke after that one.
Yeah. Say, hey, hey, that's what we're here for, folks. We're just saying, hey, you can, say, you're crazy and stuff like that. Put it in the comments. Hey, call me crazy in the comments. I'll accept it. But I'm calling it right now. Heineke will outscore Jared Goff this week.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, we still have mini draft, and we also have a listener league, and that'll take care of the back half of the show. But first, we're going to go to a quick commercial break.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Latanya. I'm the owner of Heavily Spa Mobile. I've been in this business 19 years plus. If you're in dire need of a massage for achy muscles, back, neck, shoulder, hip, legs, feet, come on down and schedule an appointment with me. You can't go wrong. There's nothing wrong with taking care of you because no one's going to be able to take care of you. I'm located at 2484 Ingleside Avenue, and that's in Building 8, and that's in Macon, Georgia. Again, you can go online to Heavily Spa Mobile to schedule your future appointment, or you can reach out to me at 478-747-9231. I look forward to seeing you soon.
Absolutely. And we thank Heavily Spa Mobile for supporting
and also
Sportsworld Fantasy Football Show.
That's right. And, I will say it always when she comes on. They were best of the best in the Middle Georgia area. So, they don't take that lightly. You got to do a lot to get that reward. So we do always thank our sponsor.
Absolutely. Wait a minute. I'm getting some more information here. Wow. Not only have they been the best of the best in the Middle Georgia area for back to back years, calculator. Now we can go ahead and add she's best of the state of Georgia now.
Oh, I thank you for that, Mr. 411. Always
Wow,
good. She's just adding to the collection, Mr. 411.
Absolutely, and I'm hearing that we're going to get some more information on that from Heavenly Spa Mobile, and we'll be put it on the screen because they support us and we support them. So we definitely appreciate Heavenly Spa Mobile, where relaxation is the key. Don't
The
forget,
key.
give yes, and we're giving the keys to success in the fantasy world realm, and also check out Heavenly Spa Mobile because you want to take advantage of those gift cards too. They make excellent gifts for the holiday season
Yep.
and beyond.
Oh, Mr.
Calculator's time,
411,
man.
I just got a notification on my phone.
Oh, let's get it.
I have to issue a correction. I apologize to our audience. Lamar Jackson did not participate in practice this week. So I just got confirmation that he was not on a practice. So if you are a Lamar Jackson owner, folks, that's not a good sign. So go and fire up those Heineke shares, folks.
All right, here we go. Well, thank you for the update, calculator. And that's why we need you to hit the like button and share button and hit the notification bell because we get information running in. And so as we get it, we want to get it out to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and we're constantly giving updates even after the show. So make sure that you hit that subscribe button and that notification bell. Listener League time,
Uh,
calculator.
and
We are in the
listen,
playoffs. What's it looking like?
and I just want to tell everybody that was listening to the show, folks. There was some trash talking on the message boards after these lineups were cut. Carter's Peanuts was so excited to make that 6 seed. He said he's going to make every opponent he plays, he's going to wear them out. And he started it with C-Town Ballers. C-Town Ballers. Hey, folks, we'll just look at a little breakdown quick on what happened with these folks, man. We had Justin Herbert, having his best game, but there you go, folks. That was the game right there. T. Higgins, early departure. Even though he got that, Evan Ingram
What a
was,
pickup.
I got to give C-Town credit. He was going down swinging. And that's when I was wondering why Carter's Peanuts said, what in Evan Ingram is going on here? But C-Town Ballers put up a fight. But hey, just like typical faction, Carter's Peanuts finds the way, just finds way. I mean, Fryermuth, Hopkins, he didn't even need his defense to think, but because Jamar Chase was back, and when you take away from T. Higgins, you give to Jamar Chase, right? And you could say the difference in this game was the Tyreek Hill 50-yard fumble recovery for a touchdown, folks. You don't see that every
Insane.
day. And I think what really was the nail in the coffin was Tua was having a bad game, but then he had another bomb to a defender that falls down. And that's why Carter's Peanuts is just one of those guys. He can get you 70 points or they can get 160 points. And he'll have the good fortune of going against our number one seed, Mr. 411 himself. In the other action, I thought Larry was going to win it. I thought Larry was going to win it. So we're going to say, well, how didn't Larry? Aaron Jones won, but I understand. But Larry's got a good team. Well, folks, this is what Larry had to deal with, folks. Kyler Murray, early exit, and the nail in the coffins, Ramondre Stevenson, early exit. We a lot of times I would do a moment of silence because I was going to be a little worried if I had played Larry, because he's one of the second, I think the second highest scoring team in the league, if I'm not mistaken. And I mean, we see, and with Ezekiel's turning out, I mean, they're doing Tyler Lockett. I mean, he's been a monster. He's 15 plus points every week. Geno Smith chucking the ball like back in the day. I
Like
can't
he's
even
at
say
West
back in the
Virginia.
day. West Virginia days. You're right, because I'm about to say it happened in the NFL. You're right. He thought he was back in West Virginia throwing to those wide receivers wide open. But Najee Harris. But yeah, people will say Larry's team is no. Larry got lucky 2 weeks ago. We understand, but he was owed some luck because of I don't know. But look at the original projections. They said it was going to be close, and I thought Larry had it going into Sunday night, down by less than 30 points, really, going into Thursday night. But when Kyler Murray got hurt, I said, "Oh, it's going to be hard for Larry to catch up now." And then when Ramondre Stevenson said, even Yahoo, when they both got declared out, went to 0% on predictions. So this will set up for Week 15, folks. Yours truly. I'm going against the number 4 seed in Chuckstown Beast and Camel Clutch going against Carter's Peanuts. So hey, I think it's gonna be a wonderful start. But before I go, I'm a man of my word. I did it on the Hold'em and Fold'em section. I am going to pick up. And I don't care if you see me. If you want to pick them, you're gonna have to pick them up and burn your waiver priority to get them from me, because I am dropping GJ Moore. This could be what they call an anger drop. But yes, I'm going to put there in there. I'm not going to have DJ Moore. I held on to him too long, and I even started him last week, and luckily I didn't play. I still got 155 points, but that's because of the rest of my roster. It definitely wasn't DJ Moore and his 1.5 points. So yes, you can call it an anger drop if you want to, but yes, I'm putting in my claim for DJ Chark for DJ Moore, and I just saved it. That's right, folks. I'm show to say I'm a man of my word. I do what I say.
Absolutely. He's gone. Right there, live in that was live in living color right there.
That's right.
All right. Well, Calculate, we definitely look forward to the playoffs, man. The
Absolutely,
fantasy
and
playoffs.
like
Final four.
That's right. And guys, we don't play. If people follow us, there's nothing behind the scenes. We go up there. But you know what? We said this, and that's why I was so glad, because Larry was living proof. Larry shows that you have early injuries, you still work the waiver wire, and you're never. He was 0-4. Went on his run when things got right. Never give up. And hey, we'll just do an early preview of my matchup. There's some early questionable marks. I like my chances because Jacobs going against New England, Amari Cooper against Baltimore. I like those matchups. DeAndre Swift is a worry, but again, because I don't think they're going to be able to pass outdoors, or they're not going to want to pass. I kind of like they might run more with DeAndre Swift. But if it's a running game, Jamal Williams can cut into that. But I like my lineup, Mr. 411. Jalen Hurts and Miles Sanders. I'm firing up every one of those Phillies up there, especially against the matchup at Chicago. And it's one of those things that if it's outdoor and I don't get the AJ Brown points, if it's on the ground, I think I can get it with Jalen Hurts and Miles Sanders. If they do one of those Gainwells and Boston Scott issues, that get me upset. But I like Garrett Wilson against the Detroit. We saw. Even though it's outside, Mike White don't mind passing outside like Jared Goff, and they're at home. Always love guys at home. Dalvin Cook, that's the one I'm with. I don't think he'll get his 22. I think he'll get his. It's going to be 15 and under because Indy's got a good rush defense. Jonathan Taylor at Minnesota. They're playing each other. I like that. But hey, we'll look at yours. Maybe I can help Mr. 4-1 at one out on his matchup. To see.
I'm gonna need some help.
Well, oh yeah, Lamar. Oh my God. I see what Mr. 4-1 is doing, a little guessing game for Carter's Peanuts. He's going to save all, but hey, you could say ATN could come up there in your Knight. I like Knight against Detroit, especially if Michael Carter is still out. I'm a little worried about Cam Akers though, Mr. 4-1. You might want to go to the move to ETN, although it is the Dallas defense. We'll see how it goes from here on. Practice reports, because it looks like Mr. 411 is going to have to pick up a kicker. I'm not going to make it, although I think Carter's Peanuts has a kicker, so he's not going to try. Yeah. I don't think he's going to start dropping and adding to get kickers for you. But I have faith in you, Mr. 411. I think you'll make the right choices as far as hey, I will say this, Mr. 411. I know he's on your bench. This could be a Glenn Davis game, or Davis game, a Gabriel Davis. Yeah. This could be him. I like him more than Donovan Peoples-Jones for the mere fact that Baltimore, really good defense. Deshaun Jackson still shaking off the rust. Gabriel Davis. This is a Gabriel Davis game. Fire him up, Mr. 411. But we'll definitely review next week and see if Mr. 411 made the correct adjustments.
Yep. Stay tuned on that. All right. Well, it's down to the Final Four calculator.
Yes, sir.
And man, as we transition, we have the mini draft that we have to get to before we get out of here. And but in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and get another sponsor up on the board, and that's the pantyplatter.com.
Oh, yes.
This is Dr. Sack's favorite part of the show as well. And the panty platter. So definitely support the Panty Platter Boutique lingerie and underwear store. And actually, calculate this is a great time to run this ad.
That's
We
right.
burn the midnight oil right now. I mean, what better way if you're still awake and you're still moving around? Take advantage of the panty platter for all your intimate occasions, and you
And it
can
is
check
Christmas
them
time,
out.
Mr. 41. It's Christmas time.
Great gifts as well.
I've
Great
never
gifts.
had my wife complain when she got a set of pajamas. So
There you go. And they are definitely there on the panty platter.
yes, they are.
It's not just underwear. It's
No,
not
it's not.
just lingerie, if you will.
One
There's
stop
also
shop, folks.
absolutely calculator. There you go. I mean, you sound like a man that is familiar with the panty platter boutique.
Absolutely. Love penny platter.
Yes, and you should be, and as well as Mr. 41 and everyone else. So please support the Panty Platter Boutique. You can check them out on the website at www.thepantyplatter.com. And she
See,
would definitely appreciate if you
I get
order
my
some
wife
items.
pajamas like that and shit, and that's the smile I got. Hey, you know.
Absolutely. Great move, calculator. Great move. And everybody else, make that move. Check out thepantyplatter.com. All right, mini
Oh,
draft,
and
mini draft, mini
I
draft.
just want to congratulate Mr. 411. He won last week,
Uh-oh.
running away. So and he did it. Oh, let me pull up our little schedule here. Yes, he run 99 points, almost broke 100. Poor Larry, who was our guest picker last time, he got the injury bug. As we see, that can happen every time. And Lacey was not far behind you, but CeeDee Lamb kind of hurt her.
Yeah.
On that one. Well, I shouldn't say hurt her. It was the default list that has CeeDee Lamb out there, and Stephon Diggs did in yours truly. But let's go and the draft. Do you want to tell the people what we're, just a brief overview of what we'll be picking, Mr. 411?
Absolutely. Yes, sir. Absolutely, calculator. This is time for our mini draft. And what we're doing here, we're drafting one quarterback, one running back,
Oh,
one tight end, one wide receiver. And in order to do so, we have to get our draft order together. And that's when we're using the wheel of names, as you can see what the calculator is doing there. He will continue to draw the names so we can get the order of how we're drafting. We're going to draft in snake format, which is 1 to 4, 4 to 1, 1 to 4, 4 to 1, and so on. And you can select which type of player that you want to draft. You don't have to draft in this order that you see on the screen: quarterback, wide receiver, running back. You can pick whichever one, but you only
yeah,
can get one of each. We're
correct.
using the stats from our listener league,
Yep.
which is a points per reception league. So you get a point per reception, and also we love to highlight the workhorse backs. So backs get 0.25 per carry, and that separates the men from the boys when it comes to the running game. So if you can find your workhorse back, it definitely pays off.
Yep.
And calculator, I have to go ahead and throw this in there as well. The winner of the mini drafts
Oh,
season
yes.
gets a juicy steak dinner, courtesy of Catered Food by Angelica. Angelica A. Roberts. Phone number is 478-396-2810. 478-396-2810. Angelica R. Roberts. Catered Food by Angelica. So we're ready for that food, man.
Oh, absolutely.
All right.
All
Mini
right.
draft.
And the good thing about this one, Mr. 41, and another thing, folks, we will be using the default list for Captain and Lacey. This is also we'd like to highlight that we like to go against what I call artificial intelligence. What I do is I pull what Yahoo, our scoring system, think is going to be the highest projected for that week, and I will select the highest on that list in the default position for our default players. And me and Mr. 401, we are beholden to our own list for that. So, so that's what we're doing. And I'm not taking it, even though I got the number one pick, I know I've always said I'm going to draft Kelsey with the number one pick. And I'm not going to do that. And the reason I'm not going to do that is because I think there is a clear cut number one overall score. It's going to be the overall score in this one, and that's Jalen Hurts. I'm going with Jalen Hurts as my number one pick. I get hurt with Hurts at my quarterback as my quarterback, and in that theme, what we I usually stay at the quarterback theme for our computer players. So I will be giving Mahomes, who's right next up, so that captain can get his quarterback first and not have to worry about it later on. So, Mr. 401, you are up.
Wow, calculator. All right. All right. Well, 4-1 is doing some double duty here, so now it's time to get my draft board together, and I'm gonna get my answer here very soon. Man, I'm enjoying the game Thursday. I'm gonna have to watch my Seahawks against the Niners. But in the meantime, I'm kind of curious here. I just really was hoping that Lamar Jackson was healthy
Yeah.
because I was hoping that he comes back and then he can get down to business. But for now, calculator, I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna go ahead and snatch up a quarterback, and in doing so, I'm gonna go with the starting quarterback, the Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick
Oh, Captain
Mahomes.
already got Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, I missed that.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
I know you were
Well,
so in love with Patrick Mahomes.
I was because that's who I was gonna ride with.
Yeah,
So
I got you.
we're gonna. That's all right. We're gonna call it audible. No problem.
Yeah.
We're gonna call it audible. Man, this is a it's a sad matchup. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna just go ahead. Let me get the running back, and I'm gonna go with Derrick Henry.
Okay. Hey, not bad. Not bad. And since two quarterbacks going, I'm not going to give Lacey a quarterback because I think all the other quarterbacks are kind of going to be even. So I'll actually pick Lacey a quarterback, one of her last picks. But since the running backs are still hot and heavy, I'm going to give her the running back. The number one default running back in our league is actually Austin Eckler this
Yeah.
week. So I'm going to give her Austin Eckler, and then I'm going to give her Travis Kelsey as the clear cut over tight end. So I gave her and that way since none of us got tight end, she basically controlled the board with the tight end, and I don't think she would have passed up Kelsey if he was available with her pick. All right, Mr. 4-1, you're next.
All right. I'm gonna go wide receiver, and I'm definitely hoping that this wide receiver does a good job. I'm gonna go with Jefferson in Minnesota.
Hey, if you look at what happened last week, folks, Justin Jefferson did 4-1 good with 33 points last week. So he's going to be doing it again. And hey, if you hadn't picked him, he definitely wasn't coming back to you because Justin Jefferson is actually the top wide receiver on the board. So he would have went to captain. So the very next one I'm going to give him the captain is Devontae Adams.
Yeah, can't go
Yes,
wrong there.
can't go wrong. Well, you can if
At
your
home.
coach isn't very smart, But hey, they know they're and Josh McDaniels is going against his former team, so I think he's going to try and I'm telling you, folks, New England can be passed on. All right, these guys, you take away that rush. These guys were wide open. When I say these guys, the Cardinals, and I'm sorry, Devontae Adams, he's better than DeAndre Hopkins, and Matt Collins is better than well, I don't know. Marquise Brown's pretty good, so never mind. I'll take that back. But Devontae Adams would be the best player they faced in a while. So, but anyways, captain gets Devontae Adams, which kind of stinks because I really wanted him. I'm going to go with McCaffrey as my running back.
Yeah.
Just
Okay.
hard to pass that up, right?
Yeah, it
So,
is. It's tough.
and I didn't want because McCaffrey would have went to captain with the next pick. So now he doesn't have to get a running back. But I didn't want to have to worry about. I don't want to fall back running back. Wide receiver. I need a tight end as well. See, Kelsey's off the board. I'm going to control the board, even though Andrews is the next available tight end for the computer. I'm going with Hawkinson. I really like Hawkinson. He's consistent. I don't think he'll kill me. So I'm going to go with Hawkinson. I'm going to take the tight end because I like the remaining receivers in this draft available. There's 2 or 3 guys that I really like, so I know one will fall back to me since 2 have already been off the board. So captain doesn't need a running back, because everybody has a running back. So I'm going to play that game and give him a tight end. And that's why I took a tight end, because I know he would have to take a tight end net, and he's going to get Mark Andrews, because that's default, folks. I know, if Captain was here, he might not pick him, but hey, you got it. We play by the rules. If you don't look it, you can always look on our site on the various rankings show and stuff. And our site has Andrews as the number 2 rated tight end of all players available. All right, Mr. Foreman, you need a quarterback and a tight end.
Okay. So 2 tight ends off the board, right? Not
3
3.
tight ends. 3 tight ends are off the board. Hawkinson's
So all
off the
tight
board.
ends are gone.
All tight ends are gone.
Okay. All right. Well, then I can slide back over to.
Correct. See, and that's the strategy we do in this. We do with this, folks. We know if all the players are taken up, that the last one will fall to us. So it looks like 411 will be switching to quarterback.
Yeah. So yeah, based on using that strategy,
Mm-hmm.
becoming more of a savvy mini drafter.
Yeah, I know. You got that. When you play long enough, you get to learn the game.
Well, I'm tempted to go there, but I'm gonna stay away from Trevor Lawrence, even though he's been hot. Cowboys are a pretty good defense, and I can't get the guy I really wanted, which was Patrick Mahomes. But that's okay. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go to Los Angeles. I haven't heard the name yet.
I like it. I like it.
Okay.
He's
haven't
hot.
heard the name yet, so I'm gonna go with Herbert.
Hey, and a lot of people, folks, Herbert. This last night was the first night he had Keenan Allen the whole game, and he had Mike Williams the whole game, and he had Gerald Everett the whole game. Guess what, folks? He was phenomenal. And it just kind of to show you, what he can do when he has his full complement of weapons. He could be. I mean, and they were giving him time. Even though they're starting 2 new tackles, because both their tackles are out due to injuries, they were giving him time. And guess what, Mr. 411, which really helps you, they're going against like the 29th ranked pass defense in the Tennessee Titans. And we saw what Trevor Lawrence did to the Titans. I think Herbert can do the same thing. So I think that was a very good pick. Like I said, I'm glad I went with Hurts, because I was going to not pick a quarterback early, thinking Herbert would fall to me, but I didn't want to take the chance, because I thought if somebody saw that matchup, they would have taken him earlier. So I was surprised that he lasted this long. But then again, I should have known we are drafting with computers as well. So Lacey, she'll get Josh Allen because he is the highest left on the quarterbacks. And wide receiver, highest left is, oh man, she's doubling up, Stephon Diggs.
Yeah.
She has a double duty on. She has that connection on Thursday night. All right, Mr. 4-1, you have 1 left, and it is a tight end. Basically, whatever tight end you want that's not Kelsey, Andrews, or Hawkinson.
Okay, well, hey, this tight end had a monster game last week, and I'm gonna take a gamble and see if they can have one more. Trevor Lawrence. I didn't want to take him as my quarterback, but I think maybe Evan, isn't it Evan Ingram?
Evan
right?
Ingram, EE.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a
as
chance
soon
on
as you
him.
said Jaguars and had big week last week, I knew exactly where you were going. The next running back available, and people might say this is thing, but that Jonathan Taylor. I mean, he's healthy.
The forgotten one.
Yeah, the overall number 1 pick, folks, is on there. So he is captain is taking Jonathan Taylor, and the last wide receiver. And see, I was glad. I want to take Tyreek Hill, but for people that didn't know, if people watched the game, he was limping around, and he's not going to have a high snap share on such a short turnaround, in my opinion. So I'm staying away. Tyreek Hill, I'm bumping him down just because of he's been nagging injuries. Even though he's number 1 in receptions, number 2 in yards on the year, they said he's on target for 2,000 yards this year. But folks, that really scared me when he looked like an ankle injury. So I'm going to skip him, and I'm going to go to Jamar Chase. I can't really pass him up for the mere fact that he's healthy. and no one else is, right? So, you got Tyler Boyd. That I think Tyler Boyd will be back. It's just a finger injury. I think Higgins this could be a multiple week injury for that. So, so I think he'll get lots of targets. They're still they still need to make the playoffs, folks. So I really like the setup in Seattle or in Cincinnati. They played the Buccaneers. We saw what if Purdy can pass on the Buccaneers, Joe Burrow can pass on the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers, what is their weakness? It is their secondary. So I think Jamar Chase is going to have a great time and
Okay.
be very successful.
All right. So, all right. So there's our mini draft. It concludes our draft, and we are definitely down to the home stretch here, calculator, to see if we get that
Yeah, I'll just give
juicy
you
steak dinner.
I'll give everybody a brief record. Lacey has 1 win. 411 has 3 wins with his latest win. Yours truly, the calculator, has 5 wins, and the captain, aka the computer, has 3 wins as well.
All right.
So it's
Okay.
getting close, Mr. 411.
That's right. It's almost time to eat.
That's right. That's right. Steak dinner. I can feel it.
Yeah, there it is, man. All right. Well, look, I appreciate you hanging in there at this time. Definitely appreciate everybody who's tuning in and watching the re-air. Like, subscribe, notification bell, share. We definitely encourage you to do all those things for us. It does nothing but help us. And as we say, we're going to continue to give you the information. We will put updates on the 401 Sports World page on YouTube. So, we want to make sure you're in tune with us. So make sure you hit that notification bell. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, calculator, thank you for being on board, man, tonight.
All right, and the clock has struck 12, Mr. 411.
Yes, it has. So you know what that means.
That's right. That's right.
All right. Well, we thank everybody for watching. On behalf of the calculator, I am Mr. 411. We thank you. We thank you. We thank you. And we'll see you soon. Catch you on the other side.
Bye, everyone.
And good luck with all your
waiver wire
pickups.
Happy playoffs, folks.
That's right. All right. We're gone. We'll see you.
See ya.